What is up, everyone? Back with another video. Today we are going to be discussing one of my favorite bands, and specifically this album right here, Foo Fighters, Concrete and Gold. As of now, this is their most recent album. They are working on a new one right now. Hopefully we hear more on that soon. So this is their 9th overall studio album, released on 15th of September 2017. But first, let's give a little background information about the Foo Fighters. So obviously the main guy in this band is Dave Grohl on guitar and vocals. He went on to form this band after Kurt Cobain's death in 1994. He was the drummer for Nirvana. Then when Kurt Cobain died, he went and formed his own band, and they have been still going strong for 25 years now. Very impressive, 9 albums. This is the most recent one of them. The current lineup consists of Pat Smear and Chris Shiflett on guitars, Nate Mendel on bass, what's his name? Rami, don't know how to pronounce that, Jaffe on keyboards, and of course Taylor Hawkins on drums and Dave Grohl on guitar and vocals. Now, before we begin this review, how did I first get into Foo Fighters? Well, back when I was in grade 6, my parents have a bunch of their albums which we'd play in the car. That's when I was really starting to get into music. And so Foo Fighters and AC/DC and Live, that kind of thing, that was my introduction to hard rock music. And obviously later on I would discover Metallica and Megadeth and Black Sabbath and all that kind of thing, but and the rest is history, but that's another story. But for now, let's focus on Foo Fighters, Concrete and Gold. Now, the reason I chose this album to review for this episode is because, well, obviously I've been doing some record shopping, and this is one of the albums I bought. I bought it on vinyl, which I showed you just before. And this album is one of my favorite Foo Fighters albums. It does have a special place in my heart. It came out the year that I was first getting into Foo Fighters. This was my first ever brand new release from the band, and resulted in an event that changed my life in 2018. I got to go and see Foo Fighters live on tour in support of this album, so yeah, pretty special to me. One of my favorite hard rock albums of all time. Fantastic stuff. The first thing you need to know about this album is that it is the most unique sounding in the Foo's collection. Dave Grohl said, and I quote, "I want it to be the biggest sounding Foo Fighters record ever, to make a gigantic rock record, but with Greg Kurstin's sense of melody and arrangement." This production is a huge factor in a lot of the songs we're going to be talking about. Very unique, awesome stuff. And without further ado, let's get into the track list. There are 11 songs on this album. And let's begin. Track 1 is called T-Shirt. A very short song. It's only 1.5 minutes long, so it's kind of like a short little intro before some of the bigger tracks. Really good stuff. It demonstrates the Foo Fighters' ability to start off slow but then build up into something really big. We've got that kind of little clean acoustic intro with gentle, delicate vocals, but then it explodes into a huge riff and introduces us to the really unique production style that makes the riffs not just heavy but huge as well. Really great stuff. So yeah, just a short little song to introduce the album. Track 2 is called Run. This was most of us's introduction to this album. It was the first ever single. When I was first getting into this band, it was already out, and the film clip was out, and I remember seeing that, and I was absolutely mesmerized. Of course, if you haven't seen it, please do go and watch it. It's really cool. It has all the members dressed up as old people. They're performing in like a retirement village area, and all the other people who live there just go absolutely nuts, and it's really crazy. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah. Yeah, obviously this album, one of the main themes of this album is hope and desperation, and Dave Grohl said he wrote a lot of the lyrics about the disaster that occurred the previous year, which is that Donald Trump won the U.S. election and became the president. Um, a lot of the lyrics are kind of about that type of thing, like fighting for freedom, standing up for your rights, and how time runs out, all the hope and desperation of hard times, that type of thing. So yeah, absolutely awesome stuff. Easily one of the band's fastest and heaviest songs, probably the fastest and heaviest song on the album. With great riffs, great guitar solo, really heavy, awesome stuff. Track 3 is called Make It Right, following off a really fast and heavy song. This is more of a mid-pace type thing. It kind of opens with a little percussion bit, which is pretty cool, and then it moves into the main riff. It contains background vocals from Taylor Hawkins, which gives it a really unique voice. Really good stuff. Track 4 is called The Sky is a Neighborhood. Obviously, this was the second single released from the album, released 2 or 3 months before the full album was released. This was the second music video from the album. Very good, really great stuff here. Pretty heavy. Taylor Hawkins hits the bass and snare drums really hard in this song. Got great riffs, great vocals, really atmospheric stuff. Um, and the lyrics, once again, kind of dealing with life's problems, if you will. So it's not just about a guy who's got a band playing on the roof and he can't get to sleep. One of my dad's friends actually thought that was what the song was about when they were first listening to it. So that's an interesting story right there. So track 4, The Sky is a Neighborhood, and that is the last song off of side A. Let's move to side B. Track 1 off of side B and track 5 is called La Di Da. Now, it's not really a light La Di Da type song. It's a pretty damn heavy song. It's got a great keyboard riff from Rami Jaffe, if that's not sure how his name is pronounced, but I'm just going to go with that. Really great keyboard riff that blends well with the guitars, so I like that. Verses are kind of more mid-paced. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes right here. And really fast and really heavy chorus, which is awesome. Some kind of interesting lyrics. One of the main lines in the chorus is psychic television and a death in June. Jim Jones painting in a blue bedroom. Not quite sure what that's about, but still an awesome song. Yeah. Track 6 is called Dirty Water. This is one of a few songs that kind of starts off slow but then builds up really loudly. You got a little acoustic intro before the first verse begins. The first half's kind of quiet with quiet little verses and kind of a louder chorus. Then it explodes into this really great riff. The production and a lot of synthesizers on this album is another thing. Really awesome tone that it once again gives this album a really unique feel. Love the energy of it. Love the guitar riffs. Great, really cool song that starts off with a quiet first half, but then builds up and really heavy second half. Track 7 is called Arrows. Once kind of like La Di Da, it's got kind of slow and steady verses, much more of a steady song than La Di Da, with slow and steady verses with a huge aggressive chorus. I'm talking about the lyrics all the time because a lot of the lyrics on this album are very interesting. Kind of disturbed and sad lyrics. I think it's about a guy who's suffering from mental health issues and is quite upset and that type of thing. So, yep, that's pretty cool. Love Dave Grohl's vocals on this album. So, yes. Track 8 is called Happy Ever After 0 Hour. This is definitely the least energetic and most relaxed song on this album, kind of a ballady type song with acoustic guitar and lighter percussion, and also a nice little guitar solo from Chris Shiflett in the middle. So yeah, kind of a ballady, relaxed type song. Turning over to side C, track 9 is called Sunday Rain. This is the longest song on the album at over 6 minutes long, and really great song. I love Taylor Hawkins' drumming on the song. He actually sings on this song. He's kind of got a raspy, kind of slightly raspy, but really melodic voice, which I do love. Chris Shiflett, Pat Smear, and Dave Grohl provide really great guitar riffs, so really great arrangements on this song, and at the end we get a little dose of kind of jazz piano, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, track 9, Sunday Rain. Track 10 is called The Line. This, I think, was also released as a single. They didn't do a video of it, though, it's definitely one of the fastest songs on this album. It kind of opens with a little riff and vocals from Dave Grohl. One of my favorite vocal performances on this album. Absolutely love Dave Grohl's voice. Greg Kurstin and Rami Jaffee provide really great synthesizers and keyboards, which is a big part in the construction of this song. So really great stuff there. Amazing song. Definitely one of my favorites on the album. The second last song. So now let's move on to the last. The last song on this album is the actual track, Concrete and Gold. This is definitely the slowest song on the album. It opens with kind of like a really slow, sludgy guitar riff, and vocals are kind of fuzz-laden, but that does sound really good, really unique. And then the chorus is absolutely huge. Taylor Hawkins does a great job on the cymbals and great guitar riffs and synthesizers. And it even has a choir to make it to send the sound even more through the roof. Another really interesting thing about this song is 5.5 minutes long. It kind of has a long chord at the end, which you have to wait half a minute or so, and then Dave Grohl yells out "F you, Daryl." That is a reference to Daryl, whatever his name is, the guy who mixes the album. Don't really know what he did that made Dave Grohl so angry that he yelled out the F word at him. We're keeping it family friendly here, but yeah, really cool stuff. So, what are my overall thoughts on this album? Well, sorry, just got my notebook right here. I think the production on this album is absolutely fantastic. Love Greg Kurstin's use of synthesizers, and it gives it a really unique, it's heavy, it's really huge sounding, it's melodic. So yeah, really, really awesome, unique feel to it. Love the guitar tone and keyboard tone. That is also a key factor. I'd say the top 5 songs are Run, The Line, Sunday Rain, La Di Da, and Dirty Water, going from 1 through 5. 5 excellent songs, but I think this whole album is absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite Foo Fighters albums ever. I give it a 9.25 out of 10. Very close to perfect. So yeah, that wraps up my video for today. We reviewed Foo Fighters' Concrete and Gold. Please make sure to like and subscribe to Invisible Kid. That's my channel. I am planning on reviewing a bunch of those other CDs that I bought. I did the record collection video. You can go and watch that. So we'll do lots of reviews on that stuff. Got Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, and even some Taylor Swift and Nickelback. And for those last 2 ones, please only watch those if you like Taylor Swift or Nickelback like I do. I am a big fan of that kind of music, as well as, well, Nickelback are really hard rock, essentially. Not really a pop fan, but do like a lot of Taylor Swift stuff. Enough of that. So, yeah, I will review those albums shortly. So, yeah, like, subscribe, and see you all later. Thank you for watching.